Hello everyone. I wanted to detail for you what the procedure was this time in preparation for the RPG as per title, and just really quickly run through some of the things I did. The usual preparing things in the folder so that it was all sectioned and ready, setting things up on Roll20, getting the music in place so that it would all feel right, trying to choose some of the stuff via Roll20 there, that's tabletop audio and other stuff, and trying to upload some other things as well, such as the official Road to Eden soundtrack and different things for battle music a little bit. It'd be nice to actually find some more stuff for that. Heck, even a Mogwai album, why not? And what else have we done? Well, the big thing was the map, of course, and it's the interactiveness of the map that's important. A kind of shared place for the players and GM. And first, I thought I'd found it when I found the website titled "Find My Path" or something like that. And you'll be able to look that up yourself via let's give you the it's a oh well, okay, so yeah, it's a GitHub website, so it's that one. And you can tell it how many grids of across and down to make for the year zero world, and you can even like underlay an image below it so that it will like match the grid up and that. And I actually preloaded a few things on it, a few of the first squares around where the arc would be. But the only thing is, I'm not quite sure how that would have worked for the players as like a permanent. They all use that because there's the hit the eye and basically turn the GM mode on and off. But I'd rather be able to see everything still without it affecting what's on my screen, and the players not be able to see what's on my screen. It didn't specifically say how I linked them to it. I guess I just pop the URL out and say this is the URL or whatever. But it didn't explicitly say that, so that was strange. And the other thing is the map that I did put underneath it, which I'll get onto in a sec. The map that I underlaid keeps disappearing every time I try to load map. So I don't know what the deal is. It keeps all the grid stuff that I've done, but it's great anyway because it helps me at least build a few zones up and think a little bit about what might be there. That's cool. So I'm kind of using that in conjunction with the map that I also uploaded onto Roll20. So the one on Roll20, I first made using the backdrop map layer, the official one that you can get from the official PDFs from the creator. It's got it's like a simulated piece of paper with some crumpled effect on it, and it's got all the grid lines, the map kind of grid lines. And they're all like designated out, but just across this white paper that's all kind of crumpled, basically dirtied, crumpled kind of paper effect. So I've got that as a file, and then I got the area that we're playing in, which is Southampton, and I had to decide on the boundaries that were going to work but not be too far out and just give me like the main whole of Southampton and everything, and try and grab the right sort of size of it. And I went to an alternate mapping software, a map editing software, finding editing software called Stammen. So, sneeze. And then you can upload find basically a map of a sector of the planet there, and it will be able to change its tone and give you all these different things. So I sent mine watercolor, and then I basically saved a map of Southampton. So then what I did was I got hold of GIMP because I was working on a Mac, and I haven't paid for software on photo editing. I don't do that sort of thing usually. GIMP is a horrible thing to use. It's very unnatural to use. Yeah, and I basically figured out how to like make one a layer under the other and affect its opacity so that it makes like the crumpled effect come through over on the watercolor effect, and then basically you're selling the whole thing as like and you get the grid line kind of coming through on the other one. So you're selling it as basically like an old tourist map of city centre sort of area that has turned up, and the stalkers are now using it as a resource map. So that was the idea here. And it does look like that, to be fair. You know, it's got that. And then actively using Roll20 itself to put a bunch of stuff in. And the stuff I'm putting in, via the text and the drawing, the shape drawing and the text drawing and writing and all this sort of stuff, preloading a lot of that stuff on the map. And the idea behind doing that is that I write all that in GM layer so that I've kind of like pre-decided on a few secrets here and there. It's not like coated the entire map with everything, but I've made it busy enough, and give you a quick blast of kind of what I mean there, if you can see it. Don't want to need to show you too much of that, but yeah. So you get the idea, basically using the Roll20 interface there to like pre-mark a lot of that and leaving a few things there back on the map background so that the players can see them too. And they would be the things like that other stalkers have made notes on before. It's like a shared map, and now this party's getting to use the map. So it's got the same coordinates that line up perfectly grid-wise to the grid on Find My Path. It worked out that the grid sizes that I could work it to matched perfectly. So I took it and ran with it, and basically they tell me on Roll20 what they want to do. I've got it open on Find My Path and I figure it out. So I'm kind of playing that way. And then the players are actively making notes. You might have seen that they put like 3 red circles up from the arc, and that was the players marking it. So they're marking it, in this case on Roll20, with red circles for a zone they've been in. And if it's a zone they've completely cleared, and I'm letting them know basically you've completely cleared it or not of stuff, then they put an X within that circle. Otherwise, it's still on the table. It still could be, it could be revisited and searched. We're tracking time because sundown is a big deal, and that's when things get more dangerous in the zone. And so, yeah, that was pretty much all of the prep, how the prep was done, and what it mostly looked like, other than going through the book, doing a bit of printing, making a few notes, pre-thinking, also the other idea on the map in the GM layer there, I wrote some things in red, and whenever I put them in red, that's an indicator to me that it refers to one of the pre-made sectors. So one of them squares, basically, I would drop in as one of the pre-mades, and there are like some add-on ones that you can grab pre-made stuffs from as well. So dotted some of that around and said, yeah, this is one of the pre-mades, and when they land on that, instead of loading everything on Find My Path, I just divert straight to the pre-made. So we'll go into that into my other video, which just basically details how session 1 went, and you'll see an example of the session and kind of how that swung. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Made sure I opened up characters for them in a journal on Roll20, so they can use the character sheets in Roll20. The only thing I'd say about that is it's pretty cool, and that it can organize the dice for you automatically, your skills and blah 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 blah. So you can see what you need to roll and that, and you can actually just press the dice roll thing and it will roll up on Roll20, which is great. What's not cool is that there's no push function there. You cannot push a roll. So it really, it then becomes half usable. What's the point of making something half usable? At that point, we're then just encouraging the players to have the Mutant Year Zero dice roller browser app, which is pretty cool, and that does have a push, obviously. And because not everyone is going to buy these really expensive dice, and I know you can get the 3 lots of D6s, but let's be honest. If you get the 3 different colours of D6s, then you really have to have a familiarity of the original dice to really get that, yeah, the black is the gear, and the distinction that ones on your black are a different thing that mean that for your gear, and also the main distinction being that the one on the yellow being the biohazard symbol, which hurts your stat if you've pushed the roll, whereas the one on the skill die being a regular one, meaning it does not hurt your stat if it comes up. So there's the other thing. Also, the other thing I noticed, which the rules don't necessarily make completely clear, is that when you roll using the Mutant Year Zero browser app that I just mentioned there, they let you re-roll ones that were on greens. So maybe you always were able to, but back when I was playing the game with the dice, I never sort of did that. Odd. That's the prep bit anyway. Thought I'd put all that out there. See you at the table or screen.